Welcome back. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. And a warm welcome to all our new guests who actually came here for the afternoon program. For it is quite a program with a closing award ceremony, with, of course, the ministerial conversation, with the official closing, and let's not forget with the youth declaration, which we will start briefly. But first, ladies and gentlemen, and also for all our new guests that maybe are not familiar with the way that already almost 2 days during our United Nations Public Service Forum 2017, we are working with the Bassmaster system to engage everybody. So please get connected. And you had quite a puzzle here, finding the related words in the letters, and I see that we have 3 people that already did a great job: Robin, Christian, and Alex.
Yeah, Alex was quite active. He was number 1 for a long time. But
do you know how many words there are in total? I mean, is it 20, 30, or is 10 the total?
No, I will show. Oh, Alex, you know, he's getting really competitive.
Oh, wow.
I will show the words that we had.
Oh, wow.
So
yes.
It's
UN.
Yeah. Technology,
learn.
Yeah, sustainable.
Awards.
Yeah.
Of course. United, World, Sustainable.
Public.
Thank you. Yeah. And I see that, so Christian van der Woude has found 12 at this moment.
Maybe he has found the bug in the system.
Found the bug in the system. Well, that's interesting. Where's Christian? Where are you? You deserve yourself an enormous round of applause, Christian. There you go. Yes. All right. So this is the way, Marike, that we will actually ask everybody to really connect to the Wi-Fi settings of your phone again. Because we need them, because we have a couple of questions also during this part of the program, don't we?
Yes. So we think everybody's participation is very important, and we appreciate it a lot as well.
Yes, so please connect. If you're not already connected, go to your Wi-Fi settings of your phone, go to the Bassmaster, and then go to your browser, go to bassmaster.nl, and you are into the system. Actually, the ministerial conversation will be prioritized by you, the audience. So please log in. So for it's your possibility to actually guide a little bit the sequence of the questions that we will ask. So please log in. And ladies and gentlemen, the system will be opened, and we come back for a couple of questions in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the youth declaration. So I'm clearing the stage right now for the next generation. I'll be back in a while. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and prepare yourself, for it's time for the Declaration of the Future, drafted by young civil servants and by youth delegates worldwide.
We should strive to provide equal opportunities to everyone, regardless of how they identify. Governments should connect women worldwide by providing internet access to all. This will enable the women to realize their career ambitions and to break down the patterns of traditional gender roles.
The devaluation of our biodiversity is a major problem. Governments should therefore create an innovative change program between indigenous communities, farmers, companies, and knowledge institutions that enables them to foster identities of the indigenous communities, protect forests, and enrich biodiversity, while also exploring new ways from business to profit.
Quality education and job opportunities should be available for everyone. That is why governments should connect employers with universities to streamline education and labor market demands. This will end the discrepancy between young people's educational backgrounds and the needs of the labor market.
To improve the socio-economic position of minorities, governments should work together with minority role models and foster structural dialogue on social and economic inclusion. This will make social and economic inclusion and opportunities for everyone the new norm.
Climate change is rapidly transforming our world. Action is required, so governments need to balance between local needs and global guidelines and actively stimulate continental collaboration and unification that centers around the community. This enables us to change the tide on climate change.
These are serious concerns from us, the next generation, a generation that will face major challenges in the years ahead. With this declaration, we reach out to you and say, we've got the solutions, you've got the power, let's act together and let's start today. Thank you. Now I have the great opportunity to ask Mr. Richard van Zwol and Mr. Thomas Gast to join me on stage for the official signing.
Please at this side. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now preparing for the official signing and, of course, over the handing over of the Youth Declaration. First, of course, it has to be signed by the youth. Here you go. Official moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's encourage them with a big round of applause. There you go. And the second signature. There you go. Yeah. And now the representatives of the Netherlands and the United Nations will officially receive it. And afterwards we have a special launch. But let's step forward, ladies and gentlemen, so for the official picture of the handing over. Let's do it here, please come together. I'll be step aside so the pictures be made. Smile and an applause will rise from the audience.
Join us.
Yes, another picture, there you go. With the total delegation, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. And now, please put yes, thank you. You could put the declaration here and please step forward so we can proceed with the official launch. By launching this, we not only use it for internal, but we make it public. We make it public by publishing it online, the official Youth Declaration. So please, your hands, ladies and gentlemen, in, and please count together in 3, 2, 1. There it is. The Declaration of the Youth for the Future, ladies and gentlemen. And maybe I can ask you both, let's go back to the table, I can ask you both for a first reaction receiving this Declaration of the Youth for the Future. First giving the word to the Secretary General.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for this important call to action. It reminds me of what Mark Twain once said. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist, except an old optimist. But hearing your declaration, I can't help it. I am optimistic. Optimistic when I look at these young and talented ambassadors and what they have to tell us. In my ministry, we also work with young public civil servants. They bring curiosity, interesting new perspectives, and the courage to pursue them. I think these recommendations, your recommendations, are of vital importance to the future of government. Now more than ever, it's important for all generations to work together to tackle the challenges of our time. In the face of great challenges, we have unique opportunities to change our lives and the lives of future generations for the better. So rest assured, we hear you. We want to be a mirror and a linking pin. We want to be a trusted partner and a pioneer. We want to be active and brave, transparent and open-minded. So keep us sharp and urge us on. And most importantly, join us. Together we can make the difference. Together we stand strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And would like to give Mr. Gass as well the possibility on behalf of the United Nations on a spontaneous reaction on receiving this Youth Declaration.
So, thank you. This is awesome. You know, this declaration is framed by the Sustainable Development Goals, by this shared vision of humanity. It's not an agreement just between nations. It's a promise to the people. It's a promise to you. And if we want to make sure that it happens, you have to keep us all accountable. A lot of what was said in this forum was all about accountability, participation, inclusion. This is the way to do it. Just stay sharp. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, let's thank them again. The youth delegates from all over the world, thank you so much for your contribution, and good luck with the Declaration of the Youth of the Future. Thank you. And they will leave the stage, except the Secretary General. I will give him the floor right now, ladies and gentlemen, before for it's time to proceed with the program. So there's a chair summary, and we will be briefly opening the ministerial conversation. And therefore, first of all, I would like to give the floor to Richard van Zwol, the Secretary General, on behalf of the Ministry of Interior and Kingdom Relations of the Netherlands. Please.
Well, thank you very much. The Ministry of the Interior and Kingdom Relations is the Ministry of Government and Public Services in the Netherlands. So, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to welcome you to the ministerial conversation of the United Nations Public Service Forum. We are equally proud to have been the host to such lively and productive discussions of the forum yesterday and this morning. They have allowed us to draw certain preliminary yet critical lessons learned, which we can already take stock of. Let me mention 4 of them, which also coincide with the cross-cutting perspectives adopted by our reflection themes. One lesson learned is that development cannot be a cookie-cutter project. It has to be owned and molded by a nation's own objective and aspirations. This is the homegrown development based on competent leadership and capable institutions. Second insight gained from our reflection is that development cannot occur in a vacuum. All relevant actors, stakeholders, entities and peoples themselves must have a voice in development, and action must occur in unison. This is the participatory development driven by ethics and integrity. Third understanding we come endowed with from the forum so far is that development must make full use of the enabling means offered by technology. This is the leveraging effect of science and R&D, led by realistic need and gap analysis. Fourth appreciation we derive from our discussions is that development cannot transpire in situ. To endure, it has to hinge on cooperation and collaboration and embrace cohesion and integration. This is the integrative policy making that sustainable development both triggers and is triggered by. These 4 lessons emanated directly from the cross-cutting themes of our forum, each of one which can be seen as the driving force behind the innovative thinking warranted by sustainable development. Allow me to go briefly over some of the specific inflection points and agreements underlined by our reflection themes with regard to innovation in public service. The first theme was leadership, capacity development and institution building. We agreed that behind each innovation is a visionary leader, regardless of hierarchy, but compelled by an urge for creativity and triggering a process of change. For change to happen on the kind of scale we need in order to implement the SDGs, we need leadership at the highest level of government and public administration. We need leadership to be ethical, professional and effective. We require to be people-centric, responsive and responsible. We long for it to be open to partnership with multiple actors and mindful of the long-term consequences of actions across different sectors. We agreed that such leadership must be nurtured in the various phases of the training and career development of public servants. On transparency, accountability and participation, we were reminded that these are fundamental notions and practices that must be ingrained in any innovative undertaking of public service, lest the innovation go awry. We pondered that today's leaders and administrators could be assessed based on the results in improving people's lives as well as the means they employ to obtain these results. We spoke of the important role of the supreme audit institutions and welcomed their commitment to contribute to the reviewing of SDG implementation. On technology, we witnessed once more the enabling force of digitization and data-driven approaches to problem-solving as indispensable innovation spinners. Yet we also recognize that technology can be a double-edged sword if the underlying social and cultural templates are unheeded. We reflected on the importance of innovations in bridging the digital divide among people and countries, between women and men, and across a plethora of other societal groups. We came to the consensus that creativity is also vital to combat cybercrime and protect privacy on the internet. Last but not least, on policy coherence and integration, we discussed the exponential power that governance and development approaches can exert when they zero in on the synergies and trade-offs instead of sticking to silo approaches or standalone increments. We agreed that innovation is important to create the platforms, to install the mechanisms and to instill the working habits that are necessary to ensure coherence in implementing the SDGs. This ministerial conversation promises to be the pinnacle in our vigorous intellectual quest to pinpoint the main innovation accelerators in public service. Today, we are here to ask, how do we move onwards from The Hague? How can we accelerate innovations in public service, drawing from the wealth of initiatives and ideas we discussed? It's a complex riddle. Moreover, I recognize that a rising tide does not lift all boats. We are conscious that going the extra mile to ensure that development is both innovative and equitable demands hard work and unwavering commitment. Often, policymakers must thread the needle to make the ends meet so that development is sustainable and transformative for everyone, carefully weaving in the bottom-up, top-down and transversal approaches. Your actions, as discussed here and realized in the immediate aftermath of the forum, will determine how vibrant the tide of innovation launched by this forum can become and how to maintain its vibrancy. This forum can create a profound ripple effect of innovation, covering all and leaving behind no one. Actions speak louder than words. Without further ado, therefore, please allow me to wish you a fruitful ministerial conversation full of actionable ideas, result-driven sets of innovation and tangible recommendations on how to move onwards and leap forwards from The Hague with even a more rigorous, impactful and innovative public service worldwide. Thank you.
Thanking the Secretary General Van Zwol and inviting over right now on behalf of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Mr. Thomas Gast, please.
Thank you, and thank you for that excellent moderation, keeping us on our toes in the afternoon here. As we gather together all that we've learned over these 2 days. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary General Van Zwol just spoke about the 4 cross-cutting themes we just discussed in our reflections tables. In my turn, I will address the various dimensions of the Sustainable Development Goals we discussed in the 8 thematic tracks of this forum yesterday. In each track, you heard how dedicated teams within public institutions are thinking outside the box and charting a different path to improve people's lives. I will take a step back and place our discussion in a broader global context. One salient lesson we have learned from international development work is that an absolute decrease in poverty does not mean that shared prosperity will ensue. Likewise, globalization does not ipso facto equal a reduction in inequality, nor does it automatically lead to a Pareto efficiency in pursuing development outcomes. Poverty averages only give us one facet of the story. The other speaks better to the real lives of people. In fact, with the 2030 agenda, we are well beyond measuring only in GDP terms. In a manner of speaking, the 169 targets underpinning the Sustainable Development Goals are 169 ways of explaining how no one is to be left behind. This implies that we need to know who the most vulnerable are, understand the threats and challenges they face, and systematically build their resilience and empowerment into our national, regional and local development strategies. The 2030 Agenda has redefined sustainability. If a significant economic or social group is left behind, our development is not sustainable. Thus, we need to ask the following. How can we aspire to eradicate poverty if half the population, that is, women and girls, are economically and socially disadvantaged in all countries? Moreover, how can we sensibly talk about job creation if we do not take a head start in ensuring a life of dignity and fulfillment for every woman, man and child? How can we all do all this through well-rounded public health, public education and public participation systems and policies? And how can we have even a glimmer of hope that our efforts at empowering people and promoting prosperity can prevail if we falter at guarding our planet through meaningful partnerships and in line with the science-deduced facts related to climate change? Our 8 thematic tracks have shown that public policy can tackle these challenges vigorously and has a strong responsibility in their regard. Let me briefly explain how and why by focusing on each of the tracks separately. On job creation and prosperity, labor strategies linked with social protection schemes can bolster inclusive growth, especially alongside innovative income dispensing systems, fair tax administration, generous mitigation policies, and gender-sensitive capacity development programs. One-sided focus on GDP can hinder more comprehensive understandings of development, while out-of-the-box reasoning, on the other hand, can interlink these multifaceted aspects with innovative development policy making in the public sector. On public health, successful social innovations and public entrepreneurship require inclusive and long-term public environment policies, and creating and maintaining integrated, solid and flexible health systems. But they also require harnessing the force of e-health and data analytics while building on the traditional networks and know-how of local communities. While such endeavors require financial investments and capacities, we saw yesterday that simple interventions and tools used creatively can lead to enormous gains for some communities, particularly in remote and disadvantaged urban slums. Progress in maternal and child health is just one example, and we saw some really spectacular examples also this noon in the displays downstairs. On sustainable energy, we need to act with the firm belief that the spillover effects of switching to green energy will ultimately improve the well-being of our societies. Some of the initiatives we heard about yesterday show that innovative public policies can help show the way. More generally, we sometimes suffer not from a lack of willingness to invest and cooperate, but from a dearth of quality actionable data. Our actions must be guided not only by our energy resources, but by our long-term objectives and principles. On management of water and sea levels, we clearly recognize the undue burden and threats faced by small island development states. Addressing the challenges they face means having in place the right water management and infrastructure policies. But it is also about demographics, human settlements and urban planning. Various adaptation projects and promising collaborative initiatives at all levels must be given due visibility. On children and youth, Our discussions show that young people of today are capable of and inspired to be engaged actors and drivers of change, and that our systems of governance, public services and legal frameworks should recognize this. As we did just a minute ago, we must listen to and be inspired by youth, their vision of the future, their energy and determination. Where there is a will, there is a way, and innovative public servants are well aware of this. On unlocking the potential of the furthest behind, our discussion shows that we must adapt our support systems and frameworks to unleash opportunities for the most vulnerable. This means identifying vulnerability and championing inclusive and participatory approaches to overcome it. The core of the 2030 Agenda requires us to ensure, safeguard and strengthen access to adequate health care, to education, employment, training and productive resources. In this age of wealth, inequality, development strategies must address the concerns and frustrations of those left behind. Then we spoke about sustainable cities. We need to make urban development sustainable through interlinked policies and local service delivery mechanisms that put accessibility, inclusiveness and justice at the center. And this includes public housing, transport and land use policies. Climate resilience and preserving natural resources should also be top priorities. Last but not least, on circular economy, we must further emphasize the role of recycle, reuse and reduce. And I should add upcycle. I learned the term, or I was reminded of the term again. It's not just recycle, it's upcycle. Create more value, include more value in the product that we put back on the market. That's what we need for sustainable resource management. So let us weld innovation, technology and productivity together to help stave off unnecessary consumption and minimize waste. Let us think in terms of recovery and reconversion through smart and integrated industries. We have much to learn, not only from the policy frameworks of the North, but also from the innovations and practices in developing countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I said last but not least, but I still have one more point. And for this one, I would ask only the civil servants in the room to listen, and I count myself. So if you are a local, a regional, a national or a multilateral or international civil servant, this is for you. The others, please don't listen on this one. We have 3 targets that have our name all over it. 4 actually. Target 16.5, reducing corruption. Target 16.6, effective, accountable and transparent institutions. Target 16.7, responsive, inclusive, representative decision-making. And target 16.10, public access to information. Ladies and gentlemen, the buck stops with us. Minister Francois urged us to think actionably on how to move onwards and leap forward from The Hague. Indeed, it's our shared responsibility to implement the 2030 Agenda. I'm looking forward to hearing your innovative ideas on how to make public sector into an even more active force in carrying on this responsibility. There is no time like present. Your actions today will shape and determine your success tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gaas. Thank you for encouraging us, and also you in the ministerial conversation, which will start in a while. But Marieke, we all need, therefore, to be connected to the Busmaster system, and we have prepared a couple of questions. Do we?
2 actually.
2.
First one we have practiced during the sub-sessions.
Ah, yes.
If you have your phone, you see a crosshair and a map in the right corner. You can move the map on your screen and you can select the place where you come from or the place that you represent. And then we can see that on the big screen where everybody comes from.
Yes. So it starts a little bit from here, of course, and then it scatters around. We already have North America, we have Latin America, of course. I see Brazil, I see Argentina, I see South Africa, I see, is that Morocco? Yes. I see Europe, I see...
Swimming people?
Yes. Southern Asia, India, Malaysia. Somebody going to, is it Indonesia? No, back to, that's Indonesia, all right. Australia, Madagascar. Well, and a lot of, somebody is living in the ocean. I don't know where, okay. Yeah, please go back. It's wet there. Okay.
There's more people start to swim now.
Yeah. A lot of people logging in right now and trying to find their way, which is perfect. A couple of seconds still to have a picture of all the countries throughout the world that you represent, ladies and gentlemen, on this great forum here in 2017 in the Netherlands. And it sure shows that we are a cross-border audience over here. Somebody going, yes. Still traveling. Okay. Everybody is at land right now, hopefully.
And I can see that people are logging in now.
Yeah. The ocean is a nice place to travel, I know, but don't stay there. Okay. So this is actually the map of the representation of all the people that are connected right now with the Busmaster system. And we already have a second question prepared for you. Last question before the ministerial conversation. And what is that, Marika?
Well, we've heard that there are also people from, well, not participants, but also audience.
Yes.
So we would like to know whether you are a participant or whether you are public audience.
Sure looks right now that the vast majority is participating. But there's always... especially in this part of the program, of course, for the Youth Declaration, but also later on for the award ceremony, some audience. But it's 75-25, so 3/4 is participating in the conference. And we also have an audience, which is great. But, well, look at the picture. This is what it shows. Great. Okay, please stay with us, Marika, because we need you for the prioritization of the ministerial conversation, which I will explain right now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ministerial conversation of the United Nations Public Service Forum 2017. As you know, we have a very interactive ministerial conversation this year. Ministers will be expected to provide brief answers of maximum of 2.5 minutes. To answer the questions of their choosing. We should also have time left for any spontaneous reaction, maybe later on, before the closing section. We will make full use of technology by the so-called Busmaster system, this conversation. To make it as interactive as possible, using the Busmaster system, you will be able to determine which question you want to address on the spot. And please let me remind you that it is discouraged to read statements during this ministerial conversation, but longer statements, of course, may be shared with the Secretariat and posted online. Time limits of 2.5 minutes will be strictly respected by me. And ladies and gentlemen, before proceeding with the use of Busmaster and with asking a first question, I would like to kindly invite all the confirmed excellencies here on stage. Please, with a big round of applause. Welcome. Just pick wherever, yes, of course. All right. Yes, we have a couple of ministers that have confirmed. And if there are some empty chairs, we will leave them for a while still on stage, because somebody will have the opportunity to still arrive. Although right now, I think it's picture time, ladies and gentlemen. There they are. Let's do this. Yes, there. There's another Excellency. Welcome on stage. Please. And so we will have the time to fill up the chairs. And like I already mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, the confirmed ministers will have all the opportunity to respond to a question. The possibility to answer within the 2.5 minutes, possibly, of course. I will ask everybody of you, if possible, when you give an answer, to please rise, so that it is easier also for the cameras recording to cover you, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, if there would be anybody, a not confirmed minister maybe, that wants to answer that same question, please raise your hand, because we have the catch box ready to use, of course. It's an open conference, and I would give you, of course, within time limits, the possibility to do so and to participate. Ladies and gentlemen, before proceeding with the use of Buzzmaster to select the ordering of the questions, I would give you a total overview of all questions available which you can choose on. They're divided up, as you can see, in 3 different categories, A, B and C. In the first category we have the 2030 agenda and critical role of public institutions and innovation in public service. The first question: what will be one critical measure to make governance and public institutions more effective, inclusive and accountable? Second question: what was the most important measure your government took or will take to implement the Sustainable Development Goals? Third question: what do you consider to be a critical factor for innovation in public service and why? Choosing between the leadership and the capacities for innovative government, transparent, accountable and participatory institutions, overcoming challenges through technology, policy coherence and integration. Fourth question: what is the role of government leaders at different levels in promoting innovations in public governance and public administration? What could make it easier for you to promote and carry out these innovations? It seems like there are 2 questions in one, but still 2.5 minutes to answer. The B category: lessons learned and recommendations of the forum. What are the 1 or maybe 2 most important lessons you heard in this meeting so far regarding the role of innovation in promoting the SDGs? And the last category: looking to the future, are resources and capacities a major obstacle to promoting innovation in your administration, and what can the UN do to support your efforts in this regard? Finally, would you like to continue working with a government or institution present at this forum so as to possibly adapt this initiative to your country context, which could be a new start as well? So these are this is the overview of the questions where you can choose upon, and we will switch with the Buzzmaster system later. But before proceeding with the Buzzmaster system, I promised to give Slovenia the opportunity to speak first, to address its selected question, as for logistical reasons, because the minister will have to leave early to catch a plane. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I will give the opportunity for the first question, and then I will give you the possibility with Buzzmaster. The question is in the A category, 2030 agenda. I already read it out. What do you consider to be a critical factor for innovation in public service, and why? So, Excellency, please rise. Yes, there you go.
Thank you very much. Also for the adjustment of the program. Thank you.
No problem.
I could choose all 4 of the initiate answers, but I would go with people, how to use our capacity as much as possible to face the challenges that we all face today. So leadership and capacity for innovative government, and to use the technology where it could help us. So it's the combination, I would say, of different measures to be taken, but I would say that it's important to see innovation not just as something new, creating of just new tools and adding to what we have, but to be more aware and conscious what we already have, what we've already developed, and
Yes.
where our shortcomings, and to work and build on that. So it's important to have the right skills, and it's important to be able to learn from each other, and also to not just listen, but to hear, and then to provide the services that are actually needed, and that they will be used. So because sometimes we create wonderful things, but then again we feel frustrated because they are not used.
Yes.
So again, we are not efficient in this regard.
All right. Beautiful sentence, not only to listen, but also to hear.
Yeah. And I believe that it should be from the leadership on the top level, but across all the structure. And it doesn't have to be hierarchically ordered, but we can all be leaders in our capacities. But we need to, I would say, create the space to feel safe enough to share and give what we need to give in certain capacity or role that we play in.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dear Excellency. Yes, give her a big round of applause. And since we arrived at this question, of course, is there another Excellency that would like to answer it as well? Yes, please.
Yeah,
On behalf of
Lebanon.
Lebanon, yes.
Yeah. I think the role of the leadership is very important. First, we have to have a commitment to improvement, serious mandate and commitment. The leader usually sets the tone for either a course that is maybe corrupt or for bureaucracy to take over, or he can set the tone for transparency, accountability, innovation, openness, for collaboration and for sharing. Then the leadership also has to have a management that is agile and full with expertise, and they should go and look for capacities. And in this we have to make a good dialogue with the private sector, which is usually more agile, which is full of capacities. And talking about capacities, I think we should have a hiring system that is really transparent and based on meritocracy and qualifications, rather than clan-based culture where we bring in people who we know. And it's also important to overcome the challenges by using technology, which is a very important tool, but here we should stress the importance of good governance, because technology by itself is only a tool. Good governance should be at the basis of everything, and we should bring in participation of all the institutions, because we need laws, we need the buy-in from all stakeholders, and we should have cohesive policies and integration, but also we should give some room for practice, for experience, from on-hand experience that can feed the policies, because policies need time. In that respect, we had access, the law on right to access to information. This year, we had a new electoral law based on proportionality, which is very important to bring in the opposition to the parliament and monitor and survey the work of the cabinet. And we are working on a strategy for anti-corruption, and we are starting the project of digital transformation to allow for more openness and for more participation of the public.
Wow. Thank you. Now everybody's saying yes, please. Round of applause.
Yes.
We promised maybe also a small remark on the Youth Declaration, Excellency.
Yes. First, congratulations on the Youth Declaration. As much as I was happy and delighted to hear this, we're always happy when we see youth, but I was very sad that I thought the youth of the Middle East specifically, should have been presented, should be in place, because this is the area in fire. Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Palestine, Yemen. This area is in fire. The young men and women of that region used to have houses, warm houses and families, colleges, universities they went to, used to have dreams, and now we are putting them in the category of refugees. These people have names, have aspirations, have ambitions. Now they are in the mystery. They don't know what the future is. I think the international community should bear its responsibility towards this youth specifically, because although we know that are internal causes for the conflicts taking place there, but this was put more in fire by some superpowers over their fight over the energy resources, over all the resources that are present in that part of the world.
Point taken. Thank you. What do you consider to be a critical factor for innovation in public service, and why on that respect? And I saw another hand, and I saw another hand, and three. Okay, please.
Thank you so much. I think public service is a service for all. And public means people, government of the people, by the people, for the people. I came from India and West Bengal, 100 million people we belongs to. But public service means continuous monitoring and the regular service for the people. And what I do, I have already attended more than 300 meetings, administrative review meeting, where we meet all the public representatives, including the block level officials, and there, because of the accountability, transparency, and the sustainable development and continuation of our work, we achieved 100% goal. And you'll be happy to know that out of 100 million people, 90% people we offer entire cycle benefits to the people, direct benefits to the people. And the people are so happy. We empower the girl child, because girl child, it is a Kanyasri project where we helping the girl child, even the minorities, the OBC, the other backward classes, and the peoples from newborn baby to a elder person. When a newborn baby born, we give a plant, means one plant, one future. We give the students the scholarship, about 2 billion, 20 million people, the student scholarship we give. We give free cycle, the transportation, green transportation. It is about 7 million, the students. We give the elderly the pensions and all the benefits. We give the rural people the 100%, the guaranteed 100 days work, the job opportunities for the poor people. And like this, we give just mostly the free food grains to the people also. We give free health care, from kidney transplantation to heart transplantation. We give full health care. So people are so happy. Entire life circle, we just help to them, so that we must help for the downtrodden people. Sometimes the speech is silence, but the action, the implementation is the golden. We activate the golden opportunities so that the benefit should reach to the poor people. It is the grassroots. So we work for the grassroots people, and all the benefits, it must reach to the grassroots. That's why what is needed, that leader must lead the people. We lead the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Their Excellency, I will go standing on this side, please.
Thank you very much. I think it's a critical factor to have transformative leadership, right from the top, up, down to the bottom. And also to look at things from a different viewpoint. Normally, the topmost leadership offers strategic guidance, strategic direction, and looks at the macro situation, and then leaves everything, the micromanagement, to the other leaders, right from the bottom up to maybe the permanent secretary level. But I think in countries, developing countries that have had upheavals and various violent changes in the public service, it is necessary for the leader at the strategic level also to be concerned with the micro goings on of in the public service. That way, the leader can not only offer strategic guidance, but also set priorities and mobilize everybody, create synergies, so that whoever is implementing a program knows exactly what it's supposed to do, what his or her role is, and what must do, carry out, what must do to make sure that that is achieved within the time set, such that therefore the public service can offer its services to the people, to the citizens, in a cost-effective and most efficient manner. Transformative leadership is crucial in this respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Yes, and I think the remark will be made in French, so people have time to switch with their earphones. Excellency.
Je vous remercie. L'innovation consiste d'abord à l'implication des autorités de l'État, puisqu'il faut que l'État soit impliqué dans le processus de l'évolution de l'administration publique. Il y a aussi la bonne gouvernance. Cette bonne gouvernance doit être accompagnée par des moyens technologiques qui permettront ce qu'on appelle l'interconnexion pour faire une politique de la transparence dans la gestion de la chose publique. Il y a aussi le leadership et la question de l'éthique et la lutte contre la corruption. Il faudrait avoir une moralité saine qui permettra de se comprendre afin de faire véhiculer l'information. Alors, je prends le cas de la République centrafricaine. Nous sommes un pays fragile. Nous avons besoin, par exemple, de nouvelles technologies pour le transfert des données, puisqu'il y a ce qu'on appelle la régionalisation dans l'administration publique. Donc, le transfert des informations doit se faire via les nouvelles technologies. Il faut promouvoir cet aspect. Le partenariat, puisque les échanges inter-institutions, inter-États permettent des acquisitions de nouvelles donnes dans la bonne gestion de l'administration publique. Voilà en gros ce qui est très nécessaire pour la gestion de l'administration publique. La gestion rationnelle des matières premières sont aussi des atouts qui permettent de remettre à niveau les potentialités de l'État, ce qui pourrait aussi donner des occasions pour attirer plus de partenariats et renforcer les capacités de l'administration publique. Voilà en quelque sorte, brièvement, les bonnes choses qu'il faut pour l'administration et une bonne innovation de l'administration publique.
Je vous remercie, Excellence.
Je vous remercie.
Merci. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and another statement to be made. So please, the catch box. Yes, there we go. I won't throw it from that distance, but please, on behalf of...
Thank you. My name is Marja Olf, Coordinator Europe Sean Babaji Missions. We are a worldwide NGO, and since this opportunity is there, I would like to choose number 2, transparent, accountable and participatory institutions. We work with our projects for the poorest of the poor worldwide and a lot in West Bengal, so I wholeheartedly support Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of West Bengal. And I agree with her, the grassroots people, the most vulnerable people, let's include them. And that means that, of course, you're all government officials, but the participatory aspect, let's work together, governmental, non-governmental, private sector, science, let's all work together to make the Sustainable Development Goals happen. And as the chairman and founder of the Sean Babaji Mission, His Holiness Sri 2008, Sean Babaji said so many times, when it comes to climate change, what about the inner climate change? Let's share this world together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have another remark. On behalf of... It's not heavy. There you go.
Good afternoon. My name is Ahmed Al-Amri, representing the Sultanate of Oman, Ministry of Civil Service. Obviously, we had a brilliant time in this city. We have heard lots of experiences. We have came across intelligent solutions from various countries. My contribution into this question, I think many of our countries lack to identify their true north. Lots of us sailing in various directions without identifying the actual needs, since some of us is either trying to look east or west and trying to have solutions which might not suit the social structure and the fabric of the citizens of the city or the society. Therefore, I think the combination of all these four answers could become when we start looking within. And it comes from reducing the amount of talking to each other and increasing the level of listening to each other, and involve more processes into the system, and eliminating as much as possible the influence on individual influence in running the processes, to eliminate corruption and injustice, and to eliminate inequality. From our experience in Oman, we have, for example, if I just give you one example, we have eliminated lots of, we created a new central employment management, by which there is no human is involved in choosing or employing people. You apply through your phone, you will be given the appointment according to the qualification you have, you will sit for the exams, you will see the results, and now we are and you will be assigned to your job. No one is favoring anyone. So we have eliminated any uncertainty of any corruption or anything like that. And now we are developing, even for the interviews, although we have this is face-to-face, we are getting through to do psychometric tests, which is in the result of having the best possible person to the job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. And I guess that makes us, dear audience, vote through the Busmaster system, because we have remaining questions, of course. And these are the voting options. So we have A, B, C, D, E, and F. They correspond with the Busmaster system. You can, via your mobile device, choose which question you want next to be answered. So I won't repeat them again, because, I mean, you can read it out, of course, for yourself. Also, to save some time. And these are the options. So which question should be answered according to you next?
It's still coming. Still people are...
Still people, yes. And I think the difference is made. We go for A. And A, ladies and gentlemen, is this question. What would be one critical measure to make governance and public institutions more effective, more inclusive, and accountable? One critical measure to make governance, public institutions more effective, inclusive, and accountable. And of course, I first look to the excellencies here on stage that haven't yet answered one of the questions. If they would answer, yes, please. Please rise on behalf of
Armenia.
Yes,
Deputy Minister of Health. I think if we have a chance to just mention one critical measurement is I think the courage of leadership. Because without that,
yes,
all the others are kind of technical measures. Because all the technology, all the methodology are there, you can find it in international experience. Without the courage of leadership, you can't do anything. Because that's my answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. What will be one critical measure to make governance and public institutions more effective, inclusive, and accountable? Oh yeah, ladies first. There we go. Yes, of course. Excellency, on behalf of
Ecuador.
Yes.
So maybe from our experience, I think we can mention empowering people. Participation. If you have empowered population and a society that is involved in the governance, in the effectiveness, in the accountability of the public sector, probably you will have more effectiveness because you will be having someone watching over you and telling you what you're doing right and what we are doing wrong. So you will have to go back to people and see if you're being effective enough. So I think empowering people, inviting people to participate, having real participation in policy making would be one of the examples of things we could do to improve these matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellency, on behalf of
Azerbaijan, I preside the Public Service Agency in Azerbaijan. In fact, this question seems to be a very, very difficult question. And to take one critical measures for installation,
all these things.
And probably we should have a lot of set of measures, and I think it's the whole totality of these measures can be qualified one critical measure. But I think the most important thing in our days is maybe change the philosophy, the concept of public administration. Until today, states have been of reactive character. They react to the demands of the. And it's not time for the state to be a proactive state, a nursing state, which takes care of the citizens. And I think so. Once again, maybe it's not a total answer, but it's a very difficult question.
I understand.
I think we should go with the approach of the state. Thank you.
Thank you. What would be one critical measure, even though it is a difficult question, I of course agree, but well, to take a step in the future, and the future is now, to make governance and public institutions more effective, inclusive and accountable. Is there any other representative of... Yes. Then I will give you the opportunity to answer this question. On behalf of Somalia, I assume.
Yes, on behalf of Somalia, Civil Service Commission. This question looks, as my previous friend said, it's more complicated. Not really easy question, but I understand that the organizations usually work with human being, and absolutely what the organization produce is what that human being is also producing within that system. I believe that providing more training and development to the civil servants and educating them on how best to be effective, inclusive and accountable would be one of the critical issues to be addressed in the public sector to be more effective, inclusive and accountable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I now think I have to throw. There you go. Excellency, on behalf of... Yes.
I'm from Timor-Leste, head of the Civil Service Commission. So I think the most important thing in this issue is a kind of regulatory framework that need to be defined and put in place, and every entity need to be clear about how this mechanism could be done. And the other thing is the clarity of the objectives that need to be understood by the people. I mean, the involvement of the people in the process of planning, this is very important. And giving them opportunity to participate. And let me give you our example. We have a civil society that is participating in what we call social auditory. So accompany all process of the development. And this is, I think, very critical. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to the stage again, and that means we need some hand risen, so I'm not going to the stage. There you go. Please, on behalf of...
On behalf of the Kenya government,
I work in the Public Service Commission, and one thing that has helped us quite a lot is, as my colleagues have said, regulatory framework, where you are saying that all public servants need to have their jobs measured, and they have accountability system that now at the end of every year they can give accountability for what they have done with the money that they were allocated. So this measurement is official and everyone knows, and they report not only to the Parliament but even to the President in public, so that they are measured against what they were supposed to do.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Yes. Yes, please.
Yes, representative from Samoa, and I must say that all this time we have been trying to see where Samoa is on your map, but Samoa is not. So you're not being inclusive.
Oh.
So we're on the other side of New Zealand or Australia, so we need to put just that dot on the map.
Thank you. We will. Thank you.
I know we've been talking about a lot of things. For Samoa, ethical leadership is what we really, and we believe that that is the key to a lot of the good governance, effective institutions, that leaders have to be ethical, leaders have to be very honest with themselves, and that as one of the speakers was saying to us, the buck stops with you, and that at the end of the day, you are to be responsible for the executions of now, for the future of the youth for tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's all.
Excuse me. We're going to the Busmaster system. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You were a little bit in the dark, but now, please.
Thank you. That's because I'm the citizen, right at the back.
Oh.
Okay, thank you so much.
Representing?
I'm just a citizen, resident, tourist. I live and work in United Arab Emirates.
All right.
I just would like to share one thought. I think everyone here knows what needs to be done, why it needs to be done. The challenge is execution. We are here to serve the citizens, so satisfaction of the citizen should be the measure of whether it is government effectiveness, inclusive accountability, transparency. Satisfaction of the citizen must be measured honestly, made it known, and used to align resources, processes, systems, thinking, mindsets, everything. We are here to serve the citizens, as Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal said. So I would just say satisfaction of the citizen. Thank you.
Satisfaction of the citizen. Thank you so much. And we cannot go to the next question because I see that there's another representative that wants to speak on behalf of.
Merci beaucoup au nom du gouvernement burundais et de mes collègues aussi. Nous pensons que pour qu'une administration publique soit effective, inclusive, il faut une planification et évaluation, parce que nous avons une expérience au Burundi. Quand il y a planification et qu'on signe des contrats de performance avec les responsables des administrations, il y a inclusivité parce qu'on collabore avec tous les intervenants du niveau bas jusqu'aux responsables, et aussi on rend compte. Et il n'y a plus de corruption parce qu'on doit rendre compte dans le temps, parce qu'on a déjà signé des contrats de performance. Donc, il faut expérimenter cette politique de gestion des performances. On va donc voir que quand on expérimente des contrats de performance, il y a inclusivité et aussi il y a effectivité. Merci.
Merci à vous. I have to continue to the next question, but I will give you the opportunity to speak next, because we have the next voting options. 2 questions are already out, and we can choose, you can choose, dear audience, the next option. So we open the Buzzmaster system again. Please vote. A, B, C, D, E, and F are the questions. Which one do you want to be responded right now? And of course, I will start again here with the Excellencies on stage. D. The D question. And D, ladies and gentlemen, will shortly appear on the big screen. So we'll know in the B category, lessons learned and recommendations of the forum. What are the 1 or 2 most important lessons you heard in this meeting so far regarding the role of innovation in promoting the ESDGs? What are the one? Yes. First of all, checking if nobody that, or please, then I will give you the floor first. On behalf of?
On behalf of South Africa and Pretoria, and my name is Dipuo Letsatsi Juba. And I must mention up front that this is my first interaction at the highest level of the United Nations. I'm very humbled to be here. Well, what lessons we have learned in the role of innovation in promoting SDGs. Firstly is that as we have been interacting from yesterday, the bottom-up approach is the most sustainable one because it's inclusive, it involves, is organic in its nature. So it will go a long way in terms of sustainability. The other lessons we have learned is that leadership is critical in every levels of public service. The leadership which is visionary, a selfless leadership, because you can have all these technologies and innovations, but if you don't have a visionary leadership to drive it from the public service point of view, those innovations and the technologies will not deliver the sustainability we want to achieve as the world, as the nation. That's one thing we have learned. The other thing we have learned is that collaborations of nations, sharing experiences, it helps because living from this forum today will be able to interact what we have learned, like in India, where they had the early marriages from young girls and so on. We have the similar problem in our country, and we'll be learning from them how to deal with that in order to empower those who are not heard, the voicelessness, who are far from where issues are happening, like in the rural areas. So these are the lessons we have learned: collaborations and leadership issues. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you. You wanted to back? Yes.
Main challenge to understand the problems of the peoples. If you understand the problems really from your heart, then you have to reach the grassroots. And if you want to give the public services, public service means it's a good governance. And good governance means you have to reach to the people, and through which, through the commitment, the credentials, the accountability, the transparency, it will depend on the promoting of the sustainable development goals. And if we want to achieve our goals, then our target should be very clear. Our vision should be very clear. And we must promote and we must empower the minorities, the backward class, the downtrodden people, the down-to-earth people, and the people who belongs to this earth, who are really the clean project, the green project, the environment polluted or environment, the eco-friendly project, and also the project which people likes. We have to give importance to the public life. We have to give importance to peoples, and we have to give the importance to public voice. The public voice is a main voice, and if you want to survive in this world, you have to give to the public voice, very important, and you have to heart the people, you have to work for the people, and let us unite the people. That is the main challenges.
Thank you.
Thank you. The main lesson was that there is no one solution for all. and that also regarding the innovation in promoting the SDGs, solutions need to be tailor-made to certain countries or territories, and even more to the target groups. And we should be as open as possible to be creative also in this way, how to reach people out and how to find new ways to innovate, promote and implement at the end. Also, I got the confirmation in this regard how we set for ourselves in Slovenia our strategy for public administration development 2020 in one sentence, that we work together responsibly each day, searching for innovative solutions for better services. So I believe this was what we've brought to each other these 2 days. I believe also I've learned one new thing, and it was like, okay, this is interesting. In today's session on leadership and capacity, the answer was whether leaders should be evaluated how they implement SDGs. And in our country, we put this really high on the agenda, and all politicians or leaders are full of it. And to really be evaluated, I mean, this is completely different questions. So I will take this to me, and I have to leave, and I want to thank you, sorry. And I thought this was a more polite way to leave the stage.
Thank you so much, and you're of course excused, the Excellency. Thank you. Before the statement, I have to say that due to time-limited restrictions, we have to go forward because there are a couple of excellencies that don't have answered the question which they want yet, so we have to speed up a little. There we go. Voilà.
Merci. Ce forum est une occasion très profitable. J'ai eu beaucoup de leçons. D'abord, le concept de leadership, c'est ça qui manque beaucoup dans les pays sous-développés. C'est-à-dire, lorsque vous êtes la hiérarchie et que vous affichez le complexe de supériorité, du coup, ça bloque le bon processus. Donc, dans le cadre de la gestion transparente, il faut avoir une ouverture pour l'échange avec les collaborateurs. Mais lorsque vous fermez la porte, et du coup, l'information ne circule pas, c'est un blocus, et puis rien ne marche, et puis, vous voyez, c'est un grand handicap. Donc, l'ouverture à l'échange est primordiale. L'humilité. Il faut être humble. Vous êtes chef, écoutez du plus haut au plus bas. Même le planton. Même le planton, c'est déjà un collaborateur. Il faut l'écouter. Peut-être qu'il a quelque chose à vous dire. Mais lorsque vous arrivez, vous êtes le chef. Je suis le ministre, j'arrive. Ben, je salue pas le secrétaire, je salue pas le planton et tout le monde. Je suis là. Ben, la communication ne marche pas. L'administration est bloquée. Et puis, du coup, le progrès échappe et puis on tombe un peu bas. Voilà quelques leçons que j'ai à dire en ce qui concerne le leadership, surtout dans les pays sous-développés. Je vous remercie.
Je vous remercie. Merci. Final statement, and then we go to the next one. Yes, please.
For this answer, of course, we need leadership, partnership, collaboration, everything. But one lesson for innovation is not one size does not fit all, and innovation does not necessarily always entail spending a lot of money or a fortune. We can invest in science-based medicine to initiate behavior, like nowadays we are talking about behavioral insights, where you can work on certain psychology factors to initiate change in the behavior of your citizens, and this change in the behavior of the citizens will ultimately force the top that is resisting to change also to change.
Thank you. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we go again to the next question. You may choose which question. We have B, C, E, and F. 4 left. We have to know which one is next so that the excellencies can give their answers. So please give the votes through the Buzzmaster system. B, C, E, and F. This is going equally, but the C and B answer, or the F, and it is B. What was the most important measure your government took or will take to implement the Sustainable Development Goals? Is there anybody? Yes. Yes, please, on behalf of...
Yeah, on behalf of the government of the Principality of Andorra. So I wanted to tell that for the Andorran government it's essential to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. So I would like to share with you some of the actions that we are taking at that moment. So one of them is the promotion of the electric mobility. So and already nearly 5% of the vehicles registered are electric vehicles. And that means that Andorra is the third country in the world after Norway and the Netherlands, so using electric vehicles. Then we have also the modernization of the public transportation fleet with less polluting and more efficient vehicles with using technologies to help users. And then also a program to improve the energy efficiency of the house stock and projects of district heating led by our electricity company, FEDA. So then we have already implemented the e-administration. 97% of the individuals in Andorra are using internet, and we think that we have to improve the administrative procedures to reduce the paper use. And then, so we have an agreement with the MIT, trying that the University of Andorra could use new technologies for retail services, tourist mobility and urban management. And the last thing I wanted to say that we can not implement any sustainable development goal without having previously informed the different stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. Yes?
For this continuous development, what my government has taken part, especially you see the Konyasi project and other project, from our government we have organized at least, we have reached to the people through administrative meeting. Within 5 years, 300 meetings we reached at the grassroots level. We talked to the block level officials, the local public representatives, the local people that belongs to so many communities, caste, creed and religions. And it's a continuous monitoring. It's a regular monitoring. And because of the program implementation totally, because of the target achieved, it was our goal. And that's why this administrative calendar and through this administrative review meeting, we are 100% successful. And for that reason, we are able to deliver the direct benefit scheme to all the poor people within 90%. We have the 100 million people, but more than 90 million people who the benefits are being reached because of this continuous monitoring and the administrative review meeting and the administrative calendar and the commitment and the dedication and the determination. Yes, if we have the dream, we have to achieve the goal. This is a continuation of the work that we are doing.
Great, thank you. Going again, the remaining questions are, ladies and gentlemen, C, E and F. It's your choice again, which one is going to be answered next, about the role of the government, the resources of capacities, or the F question. Which is next? The remaining questions in this ministerial conversation, and which questions should be answered? It's E. Being, looking to the future. In the C category, are resources and capacities a major obstacle to promoting innovation in your administration? And what can the UN do to support your efforts in this regard? Is there anybody that wants to respond to that question? Yes?
Lebanon has gone over after the civil war, has gone on a path of reconstruction and rebuilding its capacities and resources. But I'm afraid now these capacities and resources have been stretched very thin because of all what's going on around us. So we need to invest more in these resources and capacity building. But we have to access, we should find a way to manage and to access these resources in collaboration with the public sector, with the private sector, and in collaboration with all our stakeholders. As much as the United States, United Nation has been very supportive for so many years ago, it has a major role in the peacekeeping in the south of Lebanon, and it has done a lot of development work at the local level, but also they have a very constructive role in helping the central governments and different ministries. Nevertheless, we want this support to continue what they're doing, but we need more emphasis to be put on the governance and anti-corruption issues and in the new innovative tool that can help us reach and achieve the SDGs.
Thank you. First of all, yes.
Je vous remercie. Je voudrais m'appuyer sur l'exemple de mon pays, la République centrafricaine. Hier, en atelier, nous nous sommes beaucoup basés sur la création de l'emploi et la prospérité. La République centrafricaine est un pays fragile, qui traverse des situations difficiles de guerre. Et au moment où je vous parle même, nous sommes en situation difficile. Le gouvernement, soucieux de la question d'emploi des jeunes, en collaboration avec le Bureau international de travail, le BIT, a mis en place un document cadre de politique nationale d'emploi et de la formation professionnelle pour enrayer la question du chômage chez les jeunes. Ce document a vu le jour. Moi, en tant que ministre du Travail et la fonction publique, j'ai remis officiellement ce document au chef de l'État devant le Parlement, les syndicats et tout le monde. Là, je viens de Genève. J'ai remis ce document au directeur général du BIT pour demander un appui. Ce programme s'adresse également au système des Nations Unies. Qu'il faut nous appuyer dans ce sens pour enrayer réellement la pauvreté, puisque beaucoup de pays africains, même un peu partout dans le monde, sont en train de traverser des crises. Le système des conflits militaires engage beaucoup plus les jeunes. Il n'y a que des jeunes qui sont dedans. C'est des jeunes qui se retrouvent tout à fait désorientés, ils n'ont pas d'espoir. Alors, pour eux, il faut combattre. Il faut prendre les armes. Mais lorsque vous leur dites, laissez les armes, revenez, vous n'allez pas prendre des risques, mais vous allez gagner votre avenir, un avenir périn. Je crois que ça sera promoteur. Je demande aux Nations Unies d'appuyer fortement la République centrafricaine, d'appuyer tous les pays sous-développés qui sont à la recherche de la création de l'emploi et de l'enracinement et au fait de l'annulation pure et simple de la pauvreté sur toute la planète. Donc c'est un message fort que je lance au secrétaire général des Nations Unies pour appuyer fortement mon pays afin de sortir la jeunesse de son monde un peu lugubre pour le mettre sur le vrai chemin et amener le pays vers un progrès, vers une prospérité. Je vous remercie.
Merci. I have to continue due to the... Oh, is this one that you prepared? Because we have 2 remaining questions, and I want to give His Excellency also the words to prepare this one. And then I will proceed to you. So we have 2 questions left. I have to treat them both. The C and the F question. Your last choice, ladies and gentlemen, here in the audience. Is it C, is it F, please? Marike, you tell us, what will it be? 75% C? Well, even more. It's clear. First we go to this one. What is the role of government leaders at different levels in promoting innovations in public governance and public administration, and what could make it easier for you to promote and carry out these innovations? Your Excellency.
I'm Minister for Administration and Bureaucracy Reform from Indonesia.
Yes.
The role of government leaders is crucial in advancing innovation, and especially for developing countries like Indonesia, because the government leaders are patron for their subordinates. The government leaders are source of inspiration for their subordinates. Therefore, a strong commitment of the government leaders to the importance of innovation in public governance and public administration will be encouraged change in government performance and public service towards better government and public service delivery. Furthermore, we have conduct a public service innovation competition as a way to promote and apply innovation. The competition we have initiative since 2014 adopt the United Nations Public Service Award. Based on our experience by conducting the competition, enthusiasm of the central and local institutions to create innovation is very high. 2014, 515 innovation taking part the competition, and 2017 there are 3,054 innovation taking part in the competition, and then the increasing number of the participants in the competition, so that is in easy and effective opportunities for creating and well promoting innovation. In addition, innovation taking part of competition are measured in terms of the criteria by using objective measurement, so that innovation in the competition are able to reference as best practice for being replicated by others institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Final round in this one. That means that we go to the last question that was scheduled, and you don't have to choose anymore because there's one remaining. Question F. Looking to the future, would you like to continue working with a government or an institution present at this forum so as to possibly adapt its initiative to your country context?
Yes, United Nations, and this forum is a very important forum for the Public Service Day. Today is the Public Service Day. And we think that we must continue this, because the public service, the innovation can be achieved through this public forum also, because the United Nations is leading the world, and it is leading the humanity. It is leading the transparency, anti-corruption and everything. And so we think that we must continue with this. We must continue, and we must, from our country of view and the other country of view also, that present forum should continue their work, because they are our encouragement. They give us the inspiration, and they always give us a way how to do, where to go, how to help the people, and they always lead us. So let United Nations to lead us. We will be very happy if they lead us like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And then I go to you. Yes.
Yes, it is very much important for us to continue, because we are living in a global village. Exchange of information, collaborations, interaction is key, is critical, so that we can have a better world.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Oh yes, oh yes. Thank you.
Okay. That was a great statement, thank you.
Yeah, you know, any innovation is a risk to make mistakes, and if you have this chance of this networking, you can always check, you can always like have a dialogue with your colleagues to check your results in some checkpoints. So yeah, and we already have examples. For example, yesterday we saw a good experience of e-health program in Iceland.
Okay.
In Armenia we do the same. We see that our colleagues are like 1 or 2 years ahead, so we can always check. The same with our program of HIV elimination from mother to children. So we already have a success story, and already we have a couple of dialogues with colleagues to share with our experience. So yeah, the answer is obviously there, yes.
Thank you so much also for the examples. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question. I would like to thank you, all the excellencies here on stage, and of course also in the audience, for all your answers, for your remarks, and of course also for your views into the future and the hopes that you have actually set and aspired here. I hear that you're putting emphasis on a lot of things that I could impossibly all summarize because you have said it even better than I could ever do. So thank you for that, with a big round of applause, excellencies. Thank you. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a final question for you via the Buzzmaster before we go to the award ceremony. But before I go to that one, I would give the floor again with a big round of applause to the Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior and Kingdom Relations of the Netherlands, Mr. Richard van Zwol.
Ladies and gentlemen, a brief word before the final ceremony. I hope you enjoyed your stay in The Hague, International City of Peace and Justice, and I hope henceforward International City of Public Service and Innovation too. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the City of The Hague and its mayor for their great hospitality. I would also like to thank the United Nations, represented by Mr. Gaas, for the opportunity for the Netherlands and my ministry to co-host this public service forum. But especially I want to thank the organizing committee of the people of my ministry, under the direction of Elaine de Boer, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the United Nations, the City of The Hague, and all the other participants, including the people of this wonderful World Forum who made this forum in those 2 days possible. I want to thank them with a warm applause of you all. So we have come to the end of the United Nations Public Service Forum, but this end feels like a new beginning. Your energy, your creativity, your willingness to learn and to share has been an inspiration. Every bit of progress demands effort and willingness to take risks. A Dutch poet, Potgieter, 200 years ago said that only innovation can retain and those who stand still will fall behind. Today, 200 years later, these words are still true. These last few days mark the beginning of a new awareness and determination to improve public services for all citizens. I trust you will keep up the good work and that you will keep reaching out to each other. Because if this conference has shown us anything, it's that together we can make a difference. Together we can make the world a better place for ourselves and future generations. So let's go home in a while and reflect on what we have heard and learned. Reflect on how we do things and why we do them like that. Reflect, take a deep breath, and then get to work with new tenacity and courage. Our citizens demand it. Our citizens deserve it. And Ayla, the young girl who opened yesterday morning this two-day forum, expects it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. van Zwol, for the marvelous closing words. But the final word actually goes to you. The final Buzzmaster question of the forum before we go to the award ceremony. Marieke, what do you want to know actually?
Well, what we would like to know is what you are going to do to accelerate achieving the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And I see that people are already sharing their plans.
It is both personal, but also the country, the region. Yeah. It could be, okay.
Can be either, can be both.
All right.
And as you see, we get things coming in already.
Yes. So what are you going to do to accelerate achieving the SDGs? And the more you're right, ladies and gentlemen, let me finally remind you that we will keep everything. Of course, we will hand it over to the United Nations to tell the world actually what here in this two-day forum has been said. Marike, could we maybe focus on a couple of them?
Well, there's so much, much coming in now.
That's great. That's great. It's too much to share, but we just share a couple.
Sahar says include more youth. They make up 50% of the world's populations.
True that. Yes, include more youth. Sahar. Then Roshni Sen, reach out to the people is one that I see. Maybe the one in the third from Lubna. Help, empower people to become happier. Is a beautiful wish.
Yep.
Also from civil servants and in public services.
Oh, this one is sorry, it's like be myself.
Be myself. Congratulations, Jelle. Yes, all right. But it's important. I understand the true message. Room for 2 or 3 more because they're so beautiful. Maybe we can stroll. Roshni Sen, reach out to the people. Yes, a very beautiful one. Jirachai Muntongroy, policy reformation. Yes, important as well.
But as you can see, there's so much.
Yes, yes, and it's good. Like I said, want to emphasize, we will hand it over. This is the word cloud. Youth, population, people. That is great in a forum about public services that the people are put in. This is great about the word the word cloud. Leadership is a big word. Work. And yes, there's work to do. Marike, thank you so much for your contribution with Buzzmaster, not only here in the plenary sessions, but of course throughout the entire program. We say goodbye for now. Thank you, Marike. Thank you,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome at the 2017 United Nations